Episode 1. Gito walks the streets, swallows cursed spirits, and runs into Gojo Satoru. Elsewhere, Young and Yutaheim are sent on a mission to investigate a haunted house. They are trapped in the cursed spirit barrier but manage to break free. Gojo and Gito are sent to rescue them. Shoko is also there. 3 head back to Jujutsu High School. Yaga assigns Gito and Gojo to a mission by Master Tenjin. Their mission is to protect the star plasma vessel, Riko Ammonai. Yaga tells them about 2 groups targeting Riko. Q, a group of curse users who want to stop the ritual, and the Time Vessel Association, which worships Master Tenjin. The pair get attacked by Q. Gito uses his cursed spirits to save Riko, while Gojo prepares to fight another member of Q. Elsewhere, the Time Vessel Association meets with Toji Fushiguro and offers money in exchange for Riko's corpse. Episode 2. Gojo and Gito easily manage to beat up Group Q members. Riko wakes up. They are formally introduced to Riko and her maid, Misato Kuroi. Riko wants to spend some days according to her wishes, and Tenjin orders Gojo and Gito to follow her wishes, as she will no longer have a normal life once she is assimilated with Tenjin. She goes to school with them. Meanwhile, Fushiguro's colleagues feel that he is just lazing around and not focused on the job. It turns out that Fushiguro plans to weaken Satoru. Star Religious Group pays a 30 million yen bounty on Riko's head to Fuji. Gito and Kuroi face off against curse users at the school, while Gojo grabs Riko before being cornered by a curse user able to create clones of himself. Gojo uses the power of his 6 eyes and Limitless to overwhelm and defeat the user, even after he fails to execute his reverse curse technique. Just then, Riko receives a text message about Kuroi being tied up and captured. Episode 3. After learning of Kuroi's abduction, Gojo, Gito, and Riko go to Okinawa to rescue her. They wait for the bounty's deadline by hanging out on the island. Gojo lets them stay longer to enjoy. As the deadline approaches, the group arrives at Tokyo Jujutsu High to prepare for the assimilation. They are suddenly attacked by Fushiguro, catching Gojo off guard. Gojo stays behind to fight while Gito takes Riko and Kuroi to Tenjin's. During their battle, Gojo realizes that Fushiguro has no curse energy, unlike normal humans, which means he was born with a heavenly restriction that granted him strong physical prowess. Toji overwhelms Gojo by using a horde of cursed spirits accompanying him, as well as a special grade curse tool technique. Toji slices Gojo's throat and chest, seemingly killing him. Meanwhile, Riko says her tearful goodbyes to Kuroi as Gito takes her to Tenjin's underground lair. He gives her the option to reject the assimilation, which he has already decided with Gojo to go against Tenjin if Riko wishes. Riko admits her wish to live her life as a normal person, but just as she's about to reach out to Gito, she gets shot in the head by Toji. Gito is stunned, and after Toji boasts about killing Gojo, Gito unleashes his cursed spirits to fight. Episode 4. As Riko dies, Gito uses his cursed spirits to fight Fushiguro. Fushiguro dodges each attack. He also explains the process behind how he was able to hide his own cursed spirit and infiltrate the lair. Gito attempts to absorb Fushiguro's cursed spirit but fails. It allows Fushi to defeat him, leaving him barely alive. Fushi takes Riko's corpse to the Time Vessel Association representative, Shidru, who explains how their group has evolved over the years and their obsession with Tenjin. Fushiguro is confronted by Gojo, who survives their encounter by using the reverse curse technique to heal himself. Experiencing a high, Gojo easily fights back against everything Fushi throws at him. He activates special applications of his Limitless ability. Fushi's left side of his body is blown apart, and as he succumbs to his wounds, he reveals to Gojo that his son, Megumi, will be sold to the Zenin clan in a few years. Gito, who is healed by Shoko, rushes to the church to find Gojo carrying Riko's body, asking if they should kill all the non-sorcerer cultists present. Gito says no, but this thought continues to linger in his head. Episode 5. 1 year later, Gojo became adept at using his curse technique to become stronger. He has been taking more solo missions, which leaves Gito feeling more isolated with his conflicting feelings. After talking with class fellow Hebara, Gito meets special grade sorcerer Yuki Tsukomo, who reveals her desire to rid the world of cursed spirits created by the curse energy of non-sorcerers. Gito realizes that this is potentially possible if they kill all the non-sorcerers and force them to adapt. After Hebara is killed during a mission and 2 young sorcerer girls are discovered abused in a village, Gito makes his decision and murders everyone in the village. Gito is called a curse user and sentenced to death, shocking Gojo. He confronts Gito, who reveals he already killed his parents. Gojo tries to stop him but is unable to go through with it, so he lets him go. Gido takes over the Star religious group as its new leader, and Gojo meets Megumi, deciding to protect him from the Zenin clan. In the present, Gojo awakens from his dream and meets Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara. Episode 6, To Do and May suggest Jujutsu for Yuji Itadori, Megumi, Nobara, Maki, and Panda to be promoted to first-grade Jujutsu sorcerers to assign various missions. During a shopping trip, Nobara is approached by Yuko Ozawa, an old classmate of Yuji's with a crush on him. Nobara invites Megumi to discuss Yuji with Yuko. Later, Yuji arrives and recognizes her. Despite the change in her appearance, Yuko decides not to confess. Later, the trio meets up with Yutaheim to discuss the traitor within Jujutsu High who has been working with the cursed spirits, Mekamaru. They go to confront the location where Kokichi Muta's real body is located, but find it abandoned. Meanwhile, Muta is confronted by Gido and Mahito, revealing he made the vow to work with them so Mahito can use his idol transformation on Kokichi to repair his body. Kokichi asks the two not to attack Kyoto School's people. Mahito heals Kokichi, and they engage in a thrilling battle. The two commence fighting as Muta reveals a giant ultimate Mekamaru to use it to exorcise Mahito, before warning Gojo about the curse's plans for Shibuya on Halloween. Episode 7, Muta utilizes his 16 years worth of stocked up cursed energy to battle Mahito in his ultimate Mekamaru. Mahito can evade and regenerate most of the damage due to his transfiguration. However, Muta ends up releasing a missile of cursed energy that directly hits Mahito, damaging part of his soul. Mahito activates his domain expansion, trapping Muta and the Mekamaru within it. However, before Mahito can be affected by the attack, he releases another cursed energy missile Simple Domain, which will destroy the domain and Mahito himself. Muta prepares to use his remaining energy to attack Gido. However, Mahito survives the attack and kills him. Meanwhile, Niwa talks to Mekamaru to get to know everyone more. Several days later, on Halloween in Shibuya, a veil is thrown up over the city, trapping all the civilians within. Several are suddenly captured in train station, while the remaining are told to free Satoru Gojo. Several sorcerer teams are positioned at the entrances of the veil, prepared to act if necessary, while Gojo enters it. Episode 8. Meanwhile, Satoru encounters Jogo, Hanami, and Choso in a subway station and fights them. Yuji accompanies Mei and her brother Ui, who proceed to deal with a newly discovered veil. They discover the appearance of transfigured humans, causing Yuji to realize Mahito is around. He decides to deal with the powerful cursed spirit sensed nearby, while Mei and Ui take care of the transfigured humans. Yuji discovers a grasshopper cursing spirit guarding a tool that controls the veil. Yuki overpowers the curse and destroys the veil. Yuji, Mei, and Ui go below ground to discover Mahito, and most of the civilians are missing. Back in the subway, taking advice from Gido, Jogo uses the civilians to distract and overcrowd Gojo. Jogo and Hanami execute a domain amplification to deactivate a person's curse technique, forcing Gojo to jump out of the way. Gojo removes his blindfold and takes the fight seriously, while Jogo remembers Gido's words to keep him busy while he prepares the prison realm. Episode 9. Jogo and Hanami fight Gojo, while Choso attacks from the rear. Gojo successfully overwhelms Hanami by crushing them into a corner with his Limitless and killing him. Jogo tries to run away while still keeping Gojo busy. Mahito arrives with a train carrying hundreds of transfigured humans that proceed to cause immense chaos in the subway among the civilians. Gojo releases his domain expansion, Infinite Void, but only for 0.2 seconds to protect the civilians. He uses this time to take out the 1,000 transfigured humans. He is then confronted by the prison realm. Gido opens the prison realm and greets Satoru, which shocks him, and he recalls all his memories. Before Gojo is sealed away, he confronts Gido after finding out he is an imposter. Gido reveals another brain and that he is an ancient sorcerer who stole Gido's body to use his curse technique for his plans. Meanwhile, a Mekamaru suddenly attaches itself to Yuji, alerting him to Gojo's current situation. Episode 10. The prison realm gets closed, trapping Gojo inside. Elsewhere, Mekamaru creates a couple of puppets in case he dies and Gojo is sealed. Mei and Ui stay behind to deal with several cursed spirits in the subway, while Yuji runs to inform the other sorcerers of Gojo's predicament. The other teams are sent into the veil when Kiyotaka Ejichi is attacked by curse user Haruta Shijimo. Yuji yells out from the top of the buildings to Kento Nanami about Gojo's sealing, which is heard by the other teams. Meanwhile, the prison realm suddenly drops to the ground due to Gojo's interference within. Gido's group also discovers Mechamaru's spying puppets. The curses then get into an argument over Yuji's fate. Choso and Mahito want to kill him, but Jogo wants to resurrect Sukuna. Mahito proposes they all race to see whoever can find him first. After they leave, the Hasaba sisters confront Gido about giving Gido's body back, but he dismisses them. Nanami, Megumi, and Ino reconvene with Yuji as they proceed to split up to deal with the remaining veils within Shibuya. Episode 11. Yuji, Megumi, and Ino investigate the barrier to prevent the sorcerers from entering. The strength of the barrier deduces that the veils are being protected in Shibuya Central Tower. They confront the 3 cursed users at the top of the tower and destroy the veils. Yuji and Megumi fight the possessed user of the remaining veils, while Ino fights the other 2 users. The curse states that the balance of the world changed when Gojo was born and prevented the world from doing whatever it wanted. Ino uses his curse technique to fight the 2 curse users, a grandmother and her grandson. The grandson protects his grandmother as she transforms the grandson into Toji Zenin. The grandson, with Toji's power, brutally defeated Ino. Meanwhile, Yuji and Megumi fight the other curse user, who repels all of their attacks. Megumi uses his 10 shadows and figures out his inverse curse technique to reverse the strength of powerful attacks. Yuji and Megumi trip him up by throwing a barrage of weak and strong attacks at him and defeat him. Episode 12. Nanami locates Ajicha's body. He appears limp and covered in blood. Yuji and Megumi lift the veil, keeping sorcerers out of Shibuya Station. Suddenly, Ino is thrown from Shibuya Tower and Yuji catches him. Toji's soul manages to reclaim his body from Agami's grandson. Ino is too injured to fight. Megumi takes him outside the veil while Yuji stays behind. Nobara and Akari encounter Haruta in their search for Ajichi. As Nobara fights Haruta, Akari attempts to escape and attracts the attention of Haruta's hand-shaped curse tool while running through the station. As they struggle against Haruta, Nanami appears. They begin fighting, but realizing he's outmatched, they quickly attempt to flee. Nanami asks Haruta a question, and when he won't answer his questions, Nanami punches him hard enough to crush the wall behind them. He then asks if Haruta attacked Ajichi before hitting him through the station. Mei and her brother run into Gido in the subway tunnels. As she prepares to fight him, he summons the smallpox curse, and the curse immediately releases a domain expansion. As Yuji runs through an empty station, he runs into Choso.